for example, all these elite schools, or many parents, or one huge advantage of elite schools, especially in the US and in Great Britain, is actually that you socialize with certain people who then later become vital for your business interests and whatsoever, and so on, and these man groups, these man cliques, they started very early, uh, especially then when women were not allowed to obtain higher education. So this is some sort of a historic, and these are historic uh, spaces where men have asserted their dominance, and to accomplish something in these spheres is indeed difficult. This is, you can imagine this, if there is a male group and if a girl wants to be part of this group, this is some sort of a bit awkward. I mean, uh, this is something you know from your daily life. Not only this is not only sexist. I mean, it is as well as psychological. I mean, if you have four friends, there is one woman who wants to be part of it. This is always awkward, and so on. And of course, these elites, these companies, or these boards, these groups, they are always very closed groups. They have their own mechanism, they have their own structure, their own belief, and whatsoever. And everyone who wants to be admitted in these groups has to be, or prove their worthiness. I mean, this is sadly, I mean, there are indeed some sad developments where one group or intellectual elite tries to hide something and bars everyone from it. I mean, there were some hideous occurrences which hopefully only a few new, or maybe more new, especially in Austria. However, but these are mostly closed groups, in order, as well as the behavior of the personnel is high is highly um, ordered, is highly observed, like a sorority. I mean, if you want to be part of a sorority, there are certain rules. These are people who's a close knit community, and they understand each other. And as a woman, again, if you want to be part of these women, or part of this group, you have to have some sort of certain male behavior, or have to have, in a way, manly. Think about, this was very common in Austria, or I witnessed this Austria, uh, uh, this so-called skater women. So there were some women who some sort of enjoyed driving with a skateboard, and so on, and you could see them. They were dressed like men, in a way, with this baggy trousers, with this cap, and with this skater shoes, and so on. And they acted like men. They had hair cuts like men, and so on and so on. I mean, so you have to adopt, in a way, to a certain degree, uh, so that you are being admitted. I mean, everyone has this kind of women, sees them around. So it is not only in the high uh, top sphere, it is as well as in your daily life. There you will always find some women who want to be part of a male group, or associate themselves with a male group, and so on. and and there are, of course, this pathway is or this way is paved with obstacles and of course with isolation, because not many women choose this path, because in order to accomplish something in a male dominated society or in a career, I mean, think about a business, uh, these pathways are prone to failure. It is hard, and you have to have a lot of self-esteem indeed, or a belief in yourself, because failure is very likely, especially as a woman. You could be the best suitable candidate for the job, but yet still people, or still a male candidate would be chosen over you, which actually happens. So there are statistics which show that women are mostly uh, uh, passed, or uh, do not get promoted as often as men, so they some sort of left behind because of the women. Then of course these women are being hated of men. I mean, this is still a male hierarchy. Again, or this is some sort of historic growth, or it it was through historic it is historically grown. So man hate women, and other women envy them. So there is always, you could see so, some of these instances. For example, women who are not ambitious as other women, there is some sort of envy them, and of course, of course, in order to accomplish something, and if you adopt to male behavior, then you are not considered male, or feminine, and of course you have to hide your femininity in a way, or in order to do not rouse suspicion, because we know from some toxic relationships within offices, there are still some toxic relationships, and we only heard new laws only recently. So women struggle a little bit in this, or not a little bit, but they are being, not only as a woman are you being passed over uh, when it comes to promotion, but as well as you become victim to sexual harassment, and so on. So this means, as a woman, in order to succeed in this domain, in this male domain, you must not draw attention. You must not draw too much attention, especially no attention through your femininity, because in a way, attractive woman or man partially want attractive women to be subordinated and so on, so that they have control over them. This does not mean that super girls, that they are all unattractive and so on, but they have to some sort of cover up their feminine aspect, especially if they work in a branch with a lot of men, and if they have to compete with a lot of men, because women are always being considered emotional and so on, and man, this is an assumption, because man would have experience as the sole breadwinner of the family. We talked about this gender, this derives from the military and so on, so that man would know by nature or by experience, whatever, how to lead, how to be the head of the family. That's why it is always assumed that man would know how to lead, whereas women would not. Women are too emotional and so on. So this means, as a woman, you have to prove some sort of your worthiness. There's actually a lot of literature about this issue, very interesting. So intersectionalism is the key word for this. The women, how they act, or how they have to act in institutions, how they are get being acknowledged. So intersectionalism, or those who want to find out more. This is indeed interesting. There is a lot of literature written about this issue. And then, of course, I mean, there are a lot of disadvantages of the super girl. But again, let me remind you that there is indeed a driving force to become some sort of a super girl, especially of this liberation of women. There is indeed pressure to be that way, but as well as that, there are of course some disadvantage which comes with that we some way talked about this, and this is that you have to put your personal life back. Then again, that those super girls, they have to go through all these institutions, have to some sort of in a way raise awareness, but do not draw attention for the feminine attributes. So so they it and it takes longer for these women to some sort of climb the company ladder. They have to put in a lot of work, and this of course your private life suffers, as well as you may not have many friendships as well, uh, especially female friendships which are beyond your family, and friendships which are beyond your work. So this means that I mean, in the millennial age, if you have friends who are not from your social background, but from many backgrounds, then you are well connected. It doesn't matter whether they are wealthy or poor or whatever, but in the age of internet, in the age of Facebook, one assumes or hopes or thinks that you would have more friends, at least not those with whom you grew up with, and and this is actually indeed the case, because if you go to university, and if you come from a poor background like I am, or not poor but from working class, then university can indeed give you the opportunity to socialize with a lot of different people from different social backgrounds. In that case, a university is not bad, but of course, if you have to share your time with people who just hates hate you for what you are, then these things may not be suitable. And of course, if you spend most of your time in libraries, or have to work, have to do these things, then you have not time to make friends. And these women, you have to be aware, they go in these male dominated areas, and they then where the fewer and fewer women, your private life suffers. So you cannot maintain friendships, because you have to do more work, because you have to put in always this extra effort, and this then leads to isolation. And then of course these women will suffer, or have it a lot difficult to find male suitors, male partners, because these women are mostly above average intelligent. They are very smart. This is some sort of threatening to many men, because society still wants the man to lead, still wants some sort of male self-assurance, and a woman, despite the fact that she may be in her character and demeanor modest, but has accomplished a lot, maybe threatening for man. And it is indeed why it can be threatening. So these women, they have it